Hello everyone, I'm Astrophysician, or Astro for short, and in today's video we are going to take a moment to remember that sometimes we don't always have the time to finish everything that we've started. Sometimes we are forced to leave behind things that are unfinished, that must be passed on to somebody else, who will then finish or change it or do what they will with it. And at that point, it's beyond our control. And so for today's video, we are doing an art swap. And you'll see here on the screen, I have started drawing my piece. And I was just told to draw however much I want and then at some point stop and just pass it on to the next person with no context or explanation. So I just right away decided to get started on this somewhat bleak scene, I guess. I've been filling in sort of these loose background ideas, sort of guidelines for whoever may be coming after me, which I do believe is Cris. I forgot to introduce them. Excuse me for that. But anyway, I really liked this idea of. I had this strong image of a sort of portal thing that was very contrasted with the rest of the background. And it was just like have you ever seen one of those like stone sculptures that people make or something that look really I don't know how to describe it, but they look really cool. So I wanted to draw something like that, and I wanted to make it like a weird portal like in the middle of this like bleak kind of tundra landscape. And so I'm just going in and filling out all of the stones and stuff, and working that through. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I think there's a decent amount for people to work with, but I was definitely nervous that I was going to be going a little too far with it. I really, really didn't want to go too far. But I think that it's going to be alright in the end. I was doing something with snow, but I've never drawn snow like this before, so it was a little bit of an experiment. But hey, if you're not learning something new while you're drawing, what are you even doing, I guess? That's how I like to look at it anyway. So I started to sketch in this kind of figure, and I left it pretty unrendered, undetailed. Figured that somebody could do something with that. So yeah, just filled in a couple of extra details and made the transparent portal, and that's it. So that's my piece, and I'm going to pass it on to Cris now.
Hey guys, this is Cris, and today I am being the second half of this fun art swap. So when I got this piece, I was very surprised because I was maybe expecting like a sketch or something along those lines, and instead I got what frankly was already like a full piece. So I figured my best course of action would be to just go through and try and improve what I could, because Astro already had like a pretty solid piece, but I thought that it could be, kind of nudged to make it even more fun and concept art-y. So the first thing I did was I really tried to like nail in that color scheme to make it seem like very cold and wintry. Added some clouds in the background to make it seem like there's some inclement weather going on. You can see that I also worked to add a foreground so that the middle ground and background are more clearly defined. That's always a fun thing to do in concept art and other pieces like this, to have like a very dark foreground, a very dark background, and then a light middle ground really makes the figure like stand out more. As you can see, I'm also like refining the figure's anatomy a little bit here, getting in the cape and stuff like that. Here I am adding some more lighting to the portal because I figured, hey, let's make the portal the primary light source. So then I had to add like a little bit of shading behind the portal and a shadow to the figure to just really super duper make it clear that this figure is like a solid being within this place and is like casting their own shadow from that light. Um, oh, to double make it clear, I added some rocks and gave the rock shadows as well. And there's this fun thing that happens with shadows when you've got like something that's got a bright color, where some of that color kind of gets into the shadow. So I actually made the figure's shadow kind of warmish as a result of the cape. And here I was really trying to figure out what to do with the portal. I considered doing something kind of outer spacey before I was like, no, it doesn't stand out enough, and I like go for outer space nebulas all the time. So instead I figured like a nice, like sunny, cloudy day would be a good contrast to the sort of gloomy, dark winter scene that we've got here. There I was like trying to figure out how to add like some sort of effect to the portal. Tried some things, they looked bad. Added some like miracle dots. You know, you see them in like portraits a lot. It's a very like classic digital art technique to just put some dots of different like opacity around your figure to make them have a little bit of a sparkle. I just did that to the portal. Here I'm screwing with the snow. What I did was take like a basic speckle noise brush and then added a motion blur to it so it looks like it's falling. Changed up some of the opacities so that it looks like there's different layers of snow. And then as you can see, I'm pretty much done. Added a bit of a glow so like the light looks more realistic. And just fiddled a little bit more with some shadows. And here's pretty much what it looks like when it's done. I think that I did a pretty solid job improving some elements of Astro's original piece, which is I'm popping up here so you can see it real quick. And yeah, I'm just really thrilled with how it came out. Astro gave me a great composition. I think that they did a great job. And it was honestly just sort of a blast to work on this. So thank you, Astro. And now we're both going to go into our own thoughts about how our pieces turned out. So stay tuned for that.
I will begin because I would like to know like what your first impression of the drawing was when you got it. What were you thinking?
I was like, holy heck. Because to be honest, I was expecting like one piece in the art creation process, right? Like I kind of thought there would be like a sketch,
I
but you sent me like
apologize
an
for that.
entire piece. Absolutely thrilled, loved it. Was super pumped to like get my like little goblin hands on it and like fiddle with the colors and things.
Oh, that makes me very happy. I was really worried that I went a little too far, but looking, at least comparing these two, I feel like my original version was like largely unrendered and it really left you a lot. Like my sketch was like a circle. You saw the sketch in the video. It's literally just like I put the portal in there and then I just went straight in with colors, and that's just like a style, I guess. I don't know. There were a lot
Hey,
of different things I could do. But yeah, it's compared to what we ended up with, pretty basic.
I mean, to be honest, your composition was great. You had three elements. You had like somewhat of a foreground, middle ground, background, and that made it very easy for me to just go in and just sort of refine things. So basically, all that I wound up doing, most of what I did involved the figure. It involved sort of polishing up the background colors a little bit to make it look a little bit more like winter-y colors. And
Mm-hmm.
then it involves sticking some elements in the foreground so that the like composition looks more interesting and sort of draws your eye in. I also was like, hey, wouldn't it be nice if like the portal leads to like a beautiful cloudy morning or something? So that's what I wound up putting in there.
Yeah, I was
Love.
really excited to see what you would do with the portal because that was obviously the thing that I left completely open. And I was also very thrilled to see what you did with the figure too because I intentionally left that pretty bare bones. partially because I really don't like actually painting figures with this style, but also because it does give you a little bit more to do in that sense. But yeah, I loved how you just sort of pulled everything together.
God, your ideas though, super creative. Like, I
Thank
loved
you.
this. It was super adventurous. I probably would not have come up with anything like half as fun as this on my own. So much fun to go over top of it. Like, your imagination is absolutely wild, and I think in the end we made a pretty good team.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a really amazing compliment. Thank you. I am a huge nerd and can only draw fantasy stuff. So,
Fantasy's rad, dude.
yeah,
Draw
I
your
enjoy
D&D
it.
characters. Go ham.
Oh man, I have so many drawings of my D&D characters. You don't even want to open that can of worms.
Okay, listen, we're gonna have to end this call right here in like the next minute and a half because I suddenly have a desperate need to exchange all of my D&D drawings with all of your D&D drawings and see them.
And
All
you know
right,
what? I'm
cool, cool,
feeling that
cool.
desperate need as well. So I think that we're going to have to end it here, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And remember, until next time, keep in mind, we were there. Memento nobis.